really young people and children. They don't need to hear that. They're at Disney to see Mickey Mouse and go on some rides, not hear a trans woman talking about the snip. Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexis Blake and if you are new here, hello. I am a trans woman and I share my life and stories and opinions on social media. So welcome to the channel and to this video. Okay, so, I've seen this video, like I've seen the original video before and then I've seen it stitched and duetted and recopied and everyone's spoken about it. I've seen it so many times at this point. I was like, I really don't want to talk about it. Like, I think you guys who watch me, you'll know my sort of opinion on this, but it just keeps coming. Like, I keep seeing it. I'll go on my phone like every day and it'll pop up in another version. So we're going to talk about it. I have spoken about this content creator before. Her name is Lilly. She is a trans woman and she films herself in public getting misgendered. So after I released the video, someone did actually say, oh, she's a food critic. That's why she's filming herself. And that's not what my major issue is. Like, yeah, it's not great posting it online being misgendered. It makes a person look a bit stupid and it's not very fair on that individual. That's not my problem. The problem is how she handles misgenderings. It's always coming across a little bit rude and what's the word? I don't want to say bitchy. A little bit catty, I would say. And I think, in my opinion, it's just not how I used to handle or do handle misgenderings when it happens, because that person's probably going to be embarrassed. So to make them more embarrassed by pointing it out so much and making them uncomfortable, I don't think is very fair. Anyway, the video we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, she's at Disneyland and she's talking about something pretty inappropriate, I would say, for Disneyland. We'll watch it together. I get to watch it again. And then we'll talk about it after. Let's go. Also, I have a lot of extensions in my hair today. I just felt like having hair today. That's why. I don't know. I just feel like a different person when I've got hair extensions in. My hair is still so short, so I love them. Anyway, I digress. Sorry, let's go. And by the way, she has a lot of views, like so many. It's crazy. Like videos are like 3.3 million, 2.5 million, 6 million. This video we're about to watch has almost had 6 million people watch it. It's crazy. So good for her that she's doing really well. Love that for you, Lily. But this video did hit a little bit of a nerve with me, right? Okay, let's do it.
We're about to get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I noticed some hair regrowth on my marshmallow wand. That's bad because the outside of the wand is what becomes the inside of the tunnel, so you don't want hair growing there or else it's very uncomfortable. So I talked to my surgeon and he said that it would be best to postpone the procedure until after hair removal is complete. This is obviously disappointing because I was really excited to have a marshmallow tunnel sooner. That being said, it is still happening. We're just not sure when it's happening. Hair removal is a fickle thing and it's really hard to predict when it will finish. But my hair removal technician thinks it will be before the end of the year. So, fingers crossed. Oh, go. What's up? My mom's here, by the way. The marshmallow tunnel.
Okay, before we go off in the comments, I probably will agree with a lot of people's sort of sentiment on this, and I don't agree with a lot of things in the video, but we're going to start with something a little bit more positive. So I think it's great that Lily is trying to discuss sensitive topics in a sensitive way. I think that's really good, top notch, just in case maybe a young person comes across it on the internet and they won't maybe understand as much what she's talking about. Okay, now that's out of the way. Okay, at Disney, I just don't, like, she started the video with, I'm probably going to get banned from Disneyland. I could see she looked uncomfortable a little bit in herself. So that tells me she thinks in her brain, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I feel uncomfortable and there's a chance I could get banned from Disney. Yes, that does mean you are probably doing something not 100% ethically and morally great. So my problem with it is I can hear kids in the background. I can hear children talking and shouting. And that means if we can hear them being picked up on the camera, they're not that far away around and they don't need to hear these kinds of conversations. So by all means, talk about your marshmallow tunnel at home or in privacy, but you just don't need to film it at a children's theme park whilst dressed like a child. And again, nothing wrong with that. You want to go live your youth and things that we missed out on as trans women. I completely understand that. You do you. Your life. But to be dressed as a child, eating like childlike Disney sweets at Disneyland with children around, talking about something as serious, something as graphic as bottom surgery. It's crazy to me. And if you don't know what bottom surgery is, it's just when a trans person gets surgery. And yeah, that's what trans people do. Not everyone though. So it's just, yeah, words. So hear me out on this. I genuinely do believe that she does this for a reaction. That video is one of her highest ranking in views because of its audacity, the loudness, the craziness of it, the shock value. It's like years ago, before social media sort of blew up, before we had social media, way back in the day, showing my age a bit here. But years and years ago, people used to get famous if they didn't have like a natural talent. They would get famous by doing outrageous, crazy things. Like Kim K, for instance, one individual, she got famous originally from an at-home video, an at-home adult video that was filmed and it got leaked. So I kind of think sometimes like the outrageous and crazy, like shock value content that we see, I don't think it's all done on accident. I do sometimes think she's a trans woman, clearly sat there in children's stylized clothing and the hair accessories, talking about something so graphic at Disneyland. It's going to get a reaction out of a lot of people, and it's to push buttons. And I don't think she's stupid. I think a lot of the stitches that I've seen, people are like, how can you do that? It's disgusting. It's gross. What were you thinking? You weren't thinking about the people. No, she was thinking. I think she's incredibly smart because it has nearly 6 million views. So she's getting the money for it. So in a way, I'm not commending her on it. I don't agree with it, but I think she's a lot smarter than people would believe. It's like Dylan Mulvaney as well. So controversial, but they're doing very well financially for themselves. You just look at their social media, the views, the amount of people that watch them. It's working. The shock value does work. It does get eyes on your screens and your pages. It's just sad to me because it's such a sensitive topic. It's done in such a light-hearted way, which is great in some aspects, but that sort of topic is a very intense, deep one that I don't think should be spoken about around young people, really young people and children. They don't need to hear that. They're at Disney to see Mickey Mouse and go on some rides, not hear a trans woman talking about the snip. Another thing I do kind of want to talk about is how must it feel to be Lilly, as an example of a content creator who puts out some shocking content sometimes, or some controversial content, let's say it's more that. She puts out controversial content and it's not received well, like all the stitches and duets I've seen of this have been bad. How does that not make you think, maybe I'm doing something that I possibly shouldn't be. The way I'm doing something isn't the best. Maybe I am in the wrong. It always staggers me when people end up in these bad situations and they're like, oh, how did that happen? Whose fault was that? And I'm like, look in the mirror sometimes. It's hard to self-reflect and realize that we're doing things wrong. I know I've done it many times in my life. I've said some things that I don't like agree with now, and looking back on certain maybe videos I've made. But it's about looking at yourself retrospectively and taking ownership and accountability for your misactions and things that you've done wrong, and then learning from them. But apparently Lilly is not learning from them because she's continuing to do it. I genuinely believe that she's doing it for the shock value and to get eyes on her pages, and it's working. So good for her. I just think you're not the only important person in the world, and it can sometimes seem like that with certain content creators when they post this sort of shocking content. It's like they forget they're in their own little bubble and they're talking about what means a lot to them and it's important to them and it's their life, but there is other people around who might not want to know about that. Even the adults around who could overhear that conversation, they might not want to know what this trans woman's doing surgically wise down there. So it's just trying to have a level of respect for other human beings. I'm trying not to get sassy. You're not the only human being on the planet, and there is other people that might not want to hear that. It's just about having respect and being courteous to other people who are in your surroundings. But we're all talking about it, so it's working, isn't it? Oh, my boob. On a side note, one thing that I do want to briefly glaze over in this video, I sometimes get DMs and comments asking about my bottom surgery, if I've had it, if I'm going to get it, do I not want it, all these different questions about it. People agreeing with it, people not agreeing with it, some people saying you're not a proper trans woman unless you have it, some people saying don't get it, all this stuff. And that for me is just one of my personal boundaries. If I have had it or if I'm going to get it or anything like that, it's just one thing I've chosen not to speak about online. I always said that when I started accidentally doing all this. It was a bit of an accident. I posted one video and a year later, here we are, which I love and I'm so grateful for. For me personally, when I started and one of my videos was doing somewhat well, I said to Liam, my fiance, hi Liam, I said to him, there's two things that I don't ever want to talk about. I don't want to use my old name in videos. I never want to share that. And I never want to talk about bottom surgery, if I've had it, whether I'm getting it, and so on and so on. Because they're just my two personal things that I'd like to keep for me and my own sanity. But everything else I'm pretty open about. I just wanted to bring that up just because I have seen a couple of messages recently and comments occasionally about it, which I know people are curious, and I do understand that. I do completely understand that, but it's just one of my boundaries. Thank you for the questions anyway. If you have any questions below that aren't related to those things, comment them now. And tell me what you think about the video. Do you think it is like shock value? Do you think she's doing it just for the shock value? Do you think she's doing it genuinely blindly and not realizing what she's doing? I think she has some sense of, she knows what she's doing. Anyway, let me know what you guys think below. Let's try and keep it as kind as possible. I don't want to go after an individual or anyone about anyone's appearance or looks, just specifically that action at Disneyland. Yeah, let's have a chat in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I always appreciate it. It blows my mind when people click on my videos and stick around and watch it, so thank you. And if you like this kind of content, please do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are notified whenever I post new content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.